Hello everybody, welcome to another edition of Ahead of the Curve. I'm David Thomas, this is Bo Gill. We're here to talk about current events here in Bedford County and in the Shelbyville area. Yeah. A lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Celebration has wound down now.
It's wound down.
Everybody has pulled out of town and we've got flies left.
We've got flies left and a lot of good memories.
All right.
It was a good show this year. It was well attended. Comparing it, I'll say from '06 up, that it was well attended. It seemed a little bit more energy there. I'd like to see a lot of the local clubs more involved, but you know, the food was good. A lot of vendors there. The last Saturday night got a little rain, but they ended up suspending it for 45 minutes, and then because
that was lightning, wasn't it?
Lightning. If it's within 6 miles, they have to do that.
Saturday night we got the rain.
The
crowd kind of fizzled on us, didn't stay till the end.
Yeah, they had the hardcore diehards. They waited it out. I think it was about a 30 or 45 minute delay.
What time did that final class end?
About 11:30.
That's not bad.
It's not, but let's take into account this is the first year that on the last 3 championship nights they started at 6 o'clock.
I know a lot of people were coming in our store and didn't realize that. They didn't know it.
No, they didn't. I don't know if they got that out quite as well. I actually forgot about it, but I knew. So, I mean, that's my fault.
No matter how much you publicize something like that, after it's been done that way for 80 years, it's hard to change people.
No, it is. And I think that does give, you know, despite this year the rain, I think that it would have made a better crowd because it's not quite as late. A lot of times that class won't end until midnight at 12:30 sometimes. And I think that maybe that'll keep some of that, but overall it was just a good atmosphere. It's good to see some new faces there. These people that we welcomed here, the Shelbyville, out of these other states that have moved here, they were attending, and it's a new thing to them, and I think some of those are getting involved, and it's good to know that it's not steadily declining. I think there were more entries this year.
I know they had the futurity numbers were mixed in with it, but I think after you pull those out, we were still up a little bit from last year.
That's what I understand, and that was good. I'd like to see the numbers of the impact that it had on the county, and because that's one of the main factors that the celebration brings is the impact it has on Shelbyville and Bedford County.
I think it always has a good impact, even if it's down or up or whatever. There's just more people in town.
There is.
And you got your restaurants. I don't think hotels benefit like they used to because there's so many of these guys pulling in with campers. I mean, it's amazing.
It is.
How many nice high-dollar campers pulling into town. And they're bringing their home with them, and they're staying for the entire time. That campground was full.
And they got good food. I mean, and that gives people choice. I kind of like that. You know, they used to have vendors like selling knives, baseball cards and stuff out in yards and stuff. That's kind of gone away. But, you know, it's not really on grounds, but it's around the town. The town feels livelier.
Yeah, and I just wish that we could get this entire community just to embrace the show and get back to it was like in the old days where the place was packed.
Have a parade. Have something to get the residents here fired up about it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it catches us off guard. It does. I know. You know, the celebrations in town. You know, you got the celebration people coming into town, but we need to be fired up for it too.
Well, let's talk about. We've got to repeat. World Grand Champion.
Yes, we do.
Justified honors, John Allen Calloway.
Yes, wow.
Local trainer.
Beautiful.
John Allen, congratulations.
Yes, congratulations.
Repeat.
Repeat, back to back, baby.
Won it as a 4-year-old, now it's won it as a 5-year-old.
Yeah.
And
will he three-peat? That's the question.
That'll be the question.
That's the question.
Come back next year, we'll see. I'm sure the owners will make a decision on what they're going to do there. But it's good to see John Allen get in there and win it. It's good to see. We only had 5 in the class, but
it was a good class.
Sounded like a good class, and even despite the rain, the track held up very well. From what I understand,
it drained real well from what I saw from the video, and they had a good 4-year-old class the night before. A lot of good classes. A lot of classes were really full. I was really impressed. I mean, they had a lot of entries in these
typically
classes.
Your championship classes are going to drop off because people aren't going to come back and show again. Unless they did well in the first.
That's right.
And they tied well. So a lot of these numbers drop off at the end of the week because of that. But
I like to see the back-to-back. I think there's only been 2 triple winners. That have been Jose, and Mary Go Boy, maybe in the 50s. It's one of the.
There were some others that had some gaps, and they had 2 or 3 wins.
So I would like to see another 3-peat.
I think Haynes Peacock won 3 times, but there was a year or 2 between.
I can't. There hadn't been many 3-peats. There's been several back to back. So
yeah,
let's let the question loom over till next celebration.
So here we go. We'll be looking forward to celebration 2023. It's only 363 days away.
I'll be here before you know it.
All right. Other things happening in Bedford County. We've got a very important event taking place September 10th. That's Saturday at the square at the Veterans Plaza. We've got the Defenders of Freedom and Liberty, a day of remembrance on September 10th at 1 o'clock. There's going to be a ceremony, and it's a commemoration for 9/11 and what took place on 9/11.
Wow, 9/11. I mean, I remember where I was when 9/11. I think most people do, and it was a big shift in actually the way we live our lives.
Yes.
And not just airports, but the security, the see something, say something. It caused years of wars and change, and here we are now. And, you know, the same threats are there, and we need to stay vigilant. But let's not forget those that, well, first of all, sacrificed their lives by going into those buildings, and others that just innocently lost their lives.
Right.
And it's not to be forgotten. Now, it's hard to believe that it's, what, 21 years ago?
Yeah.
It does seem...
It seems like yesterday to me, and there's a generation that's now in place that weren't even born then.
Right, right.
And they don't understand exactly what happened, not just for those people losing their lives, but what we lost as a country and what we continue to lose today because we're just not really fighting for it.
Right.
And we're going to have a gentleman there, Charlie Cartwright. He was at the Pentagon, and he's a guest speaker.
Oh, wow.
Paul Ingalls also going to speak. He's been on the show several times on the We the People show we have.
Constitutional genius. The man knows his stuff.
He knows what's going on. So he's going to speak about another thing that we'll be doing as a county. And I know Mayor Graham is going to sign a Constitution Emphasis Month document, proclamation that day. So I'm looking forward to that. And also there's going to be a blood drive for anybody who wants to donate blood. That starts at 9:30 and runs till 1.
This will be the Saturday, September the 10th, correct?
Saturday, September 10th. And if you donate blood, you get a 9/11 T-shirt, which you probably can't see it, but it's a real nice looking T-shirt. So
free T-shirt, give a little blood, give a little free
blood.
T-shirt.
There'll be food trucks, music. So it'll be just a festival day on the square, and we encourage you to be at that.
You know, people always say there's nothing happening in Shovel. Well, there's
something happening. It's on Saturday.
Make your plans.
One other thing I want to talk about, getting back to the walking horse business, we have been facing, or when I say we, the walking horse industry as a whole has been facing some legislation, facing some rulemaking that would drastically change our show horse, which most people out there listening might not know exactly what's been going on, but for the last, I would say 12 years or so, there's been a push to get a law in place that would take the action device and the pads, the build-up pads, off the Tennessee walking horse and change the way the horse performed its gait.
Right.
So that's been going on. There's been bickering back and forth between the USDA, Congress, and the Humane Society. Well, the Humane Society had a ruling come down for a regulation that was put in place. It was actually printed in the Federal Register back at the end of 2016, just as Donald Trump was elected as president.
At the first of 2017.
In 2017, it was actually published on January 11th and in the Federal Register, where it would be permanent
law.
It wasn't law; it was regulation, under the HPA.
Right.
So this court recently, back in July, ruled that they withdrew that illegally. So they have to go back, and this is a win for the Humane Society. They have to go back and, I guess, reintroduce and settle in court whether or not that this was done properly. If it wasn't done properly, then it's back in play.
So it's just the court will be on the action of the withdrawal, right? I mean,
the withdrawal. They said they withdrew it.
And
the way I understand it.
And if that is in the favor of the USDA, will that be implemented? Is that?
Well, the USDA is not the one doing it. They're getting sued by Humane Society. USDA withdrew it because all those regulations were canceled. So the Humane Society has sued the USDA and asked for a ruling, and they got a favorable ruling. So the USDA now has to lay this back out on the table and properly handle it, however that ends up. So it's a possibility that this rule can be rewritten, updated and put back in the Federal Register rather quickly. So the way I understand it, the celebration has a voice in this as far as they've asked for intervention, which means that there would be another party involved in the argument. So the celebration is waiting to hear whether or not that they will be actually able to intervene. So
I know, and that's a tough situation. I know that our senators and our local businessmen and people that are big into the celebration are doing whatever they can for the good of the celebration and the good of the horses. I mean, they want to see a good, clean show, but you know, when you've got this type of political rhetoric and all this stuff going on, they're in a tough position, and I wish nothing the best. I know that the celebration's not going away, but I know competition is going to always exist. So anytime there's competition, there's always that edge to gain.
So, but basically, this is going to unfold here over the next few months, and hopefully we'll get some resolution to it. But then you've got the PAST Act, which has already been introduced in Congress 3 times. The House passed it a few years back. You didn't get to the Senate. Well, it was almost. It was a massive amount of
like 300 to 90 something.
Yeah, it was a big vote in favor of the PAST Act, and now the PAST Act has been brought forth out of into full committee, which the next step would be bringing it to the floor of the House. The House has 60-something% vote in favor of it. They've got that many co-sponsors, not just votes, but co-sponsors. And then the Senate also has enough to pass it. So if it went to the House and to the Senate, the PAST Act would pass. What that means is the USDA would be enforcing all the rules. They would be put in charge of it totally, and the industry would be out of it. And the pads, the chains, the current action device would be eliminated, and you would basically have a horse on keg shoes, and that's it. Okay, that drastically changes again. It would be very much similar to the regulations that were written and pulled. So you got two different angles attacking the industry at once.
And when will they get when will this be presented, or when will this come up? It's still.
We're talking about Congress. All right.
We talked a few weeks ago. We talked about.
I have no confidence in them being competent enough to order a pizza, let alone get a law passed. But
and this is very important to Shelbyville, to Tennessee, but and probably in all reality to them, they've got a lot bigger fish to fry, and it's probably not the first thing.
Something small, but it's been in their face for 10 years, and I just wonder how many of them said, well, let's get this over with and do it.
Right.
All right. Well, either way, if this were to come into law or if the regulations were passed down, we still got the greatest horse in the world as far as the Tennessee walking horse goes. So there's a lot of people that are afraid that it's going to affect it. It'll affect the way the horse performs, no doubt. The big lick will not be the big lick.
Right.
You will have a different animal.
It'll be natural.
But
It'll be
you
more
have
natural.
so many participating at that level already now.
You do.
I think whatever happens, the walking horse industry is going to thrive because the walking horse itself is such a good breed. I think it's the best breed out there.
I agree 100% with that. And like you said, these Western pleasure type horses, plantation horses, whatever you want to call them, with not the big lick gait, they're becoming. There's a lot of those classes around, and it's popular. And you know what? People are competing, and it's exciting. So you know, I think
we're going to be fine either way. It would be nice if there was something that would come together, the industry and HSUS and the USDA could all get together and make what changes need to be made to where everybody's confident that the law's enforced.
Right.
That would be ideal, but they've been working on it for 40 years and haven't got there. It's a frustrating situation, and it's a destabilizing factor in the industry. The industry could be thriving if everything was settled and you knew what was going on.
Right. There's a lot of unknown.
Yeah. There's too much unknown for
in
people.
Any market. Unknown is scary.
So that causes turbulence.
Yes, it does.
And even among the turbulence, the Tennessee walking horse is thriving.
Yes, it is.
Just think if it ever gets settled, what it'll do. And we are the heartbeat of that industry right here, Shelbyville, Tennessee.
And you know what? That's encouraging to kind of hear that. You know, I mean, because that's true. And I think a lot of people think that if that regulation comes in, that it's just going to, and that's not. It's not going to happen. People love these animals, and they love this competition, and this is their life.
Well, back in 1939 when it first started, there wasn't a pad and there wasn't a chain on the Tennessee walking horse.
Right. They came off of the farms.
And from 1939 to 1954 was the fastest growth period in the Tennessee walking horse industry there's ever been. It went nationwide just in a 20-year span.
Without
without any of that stuff, because the breed was great.
Right.
So we've got a great breed. Shelbyville, Tennessee, and Bedford County has something to be proud of, whether it has a pad on it or whether it doesn't.
Yes.
I hope they can come up with something, but if they don't, we still got the horse.
That's
and
right.
They can't take the horse away.
No, that's right.
They'll try that next, but they're not getting the horse. The horse is awesome.
They're not getting the horse.
All right, Bo. Anything else going on? There's a lot of stuff happening this fall.
Yeah.
I know we got. Of course, we've talked about football season.
Football going on.
So get out and support your team. Whatever team you cheer for, whatever team you support here in Bedford County, we've got 4 of them. Get out and support one of them. We've got the events that are taking place, and we look forward to getting information on our election in November for the city of Shelbyville. Still haven't got that information, but we'll pass it along when we do get it.
And we've got the November election coming up, and it'll be here before you know it. And we want to update y'all with all the candidates and maybe the you know.
I've already got some reaching out, wanting to sit down and talk and tell their story.
Good. Well, stay tuned.
So we will have Meet the Candidates coming up. I know there's 3 or 4 that will be on here wanting to talk about their ideas. So.
And like we've talked before, you know, be an informed voter. You know, I've talked about that. Sometimes it's better if you don't know anything about the candidates. It's better off not to vote. Be informed. And this is one channel. This is one way. This shouldn't. If you watch Meet the Candidate, it shouldn't make up your mind, but it should give you an angle, and then maybe you can look at another angle. It's a way to come up with your mind and be an intelligent and an informed voter, and I think that's very important.
We want to get as much information out there as possible.
Right.
So anybody that's running for city office, you are welcome to sit down and tell your story. It doesn't cost you a penny. It's a free service that here Shelbyville Now is doing and have been doing in the past, and we want to continue that. And it's open for everybody. It doesn't matter which side of the aisle you sit on. The table is open for you, and we will just let you talk and hear from you. So thanks for watching again today. Candidates, if you do want to sit down, just contact us on Facebook. And guys, we're gonna plan another show real soon, and get back on here and talk about some other current events. But give us some ideas what you want to hear about here in Bedford County, what you would like to get from Shelbyville Now. We don't want to just talk about political news.
This is your show. This is your show. Tell us what you want to talk about. I mean, and we'll be glad to bring it up and to give our view on it. We probably won't solve anything, but we can talk about it. That's for sure.
We'll definitely talk about it. But guys, thanks for watching, and watch for another edition of Ahead of the Curve real soon. Thank you.